Hello, good day everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Pinoy Mavericks, and let's all welcome student pilot Sir John Paulo Castro.
Hello po, hello.
So, Sir John, kamusta? Kamusta?
Hello po, I'm good. I'm very, very good po. So far, so good.
Okay, well, you know what, Sir John, dito sa Pilipinas, marami nagtatanong kung paano ba maging piloto. Okay, napakaswerte namin na andyan ka, to share your thoughts and ideas sa pagpipiloto. And first question, Sir John, what made you decide na magpiloto?
It's always been a dream po for me. I was grade 9 during that time po. When I saw the story of Captain Genesis Bernardo, I remember he was featured in Kapuso Mo, Jessica, so that time. From that day on po, it's always been a dream for me. I was having a conversation with a friend. Tapos out of the blue, parang sinabi ko po sa kanya, sabi ko, alam mo, piloto ako. Sabi ko po sa kanya. Tapos minessage ko po yung mga parents ko, sabi ko, piloto po ako. Parang yung kaibigan ko po during that time, parang saan yung sinasabi nito? Parang gano'n po. Pero yung mga family ko po, parang they always been so supportive po. From Captain Genesis Bernardo, I was so inspired. And parang nagtuloy-tuloy na po siya.
But by the way, Sir John, anong year ka na ngayon sa iyong course?
I'm now po in my third year po.
Okay, so kamusta ka naman during your elementary and high school days?
Parang awa naman po ni Lord. Parang hindi naman po makulit na estudyante nung nasa high school po.
Marami nagsasabi na ang pagpipiloto daw is medyo maraming math. I guess, ano muna yung pwede mong maipayo doon sa mga currently mga elementary at high school na students tapos may plano magpiloto?
When it comes to math, actually ako, to be honest, hindi po ako magaling sa math talaga. Kapag ka tinuro mo yung math sa akin ngayon, dapat sagutin natin ngayon. Kung magkakatest pa tayo next week, hindi ko na po na matatandaan yung mga formula. Ganun po akong student as when it comes to math. Naano po, nasusurvive ko naman siya, na napapasa naman yung math. And having that being said po, I'm a person who is not really good at math, pero I want to become a pilot, and it's possible po. I always tell it to my viewers po na it's always possible. Math, let us not hinder ourselves, or let us not let math hinders our dreams. Sa mga elementary, sa mga high school na gusto magpiloto, tuloy lang. Yung math, napag-aaralan naman siya.
Meron bang parang certain average bago ka matanggap sa isang flying school?
Kailangan pasado ka dun sa high school mo. Pero sa fields ka po, you have to do your you have to do your best lang. And do your best not to, yung hindi ka bumagsak. Just study hard. Study well. When you study hard, hindi ka naman siguro magkakaroon ng problema. So just study hard.
Kamusta ba ang height requirements at ang mata sa pagpipiloto?
Pagpipiloto. Opo, sa height requirements naman po, hindi naman necessarily kailangan matangkad ka. I know a pilot who is a 5'1", but she's a pilot. Ang sabi po doon, you just have to, kailangan abot mo yung rudder pedal. At yung mga upuan naman po sa cockpit, na-adjust na po yun. I know a pilot who is a 5'1", so it's not that of a requirement. But if you're taller, it's an advantage for you. Yeah, so when it comes to high requirements.
By the way, Sir Paul, para po sa kaalaman ng ating mga viewers, may nabanggit ka na rudders tsaka cockpit. Ano po ba tong mga to?
Yung rudder, yun yung sa likod ng airplane, yung sa tail, yung parang control mo when it comes to for example, going the airplane left or right. So, yun. And when it comes to cockpit, when we call cockpit, this is, the other term for cockpit is flight deck. So, this is where the pilots are controlling the airplane.
Oh, okay. So kumbaga, yung rudder is parang for you to steer left or right.
Yes po.
And then yung cockpit, yung mismong kung nasaan yung piloto with control.
Yes po.
Oh, okay. That's a new for me din, Sir Paul. Thank you so much sa info na yan. Sa pamilya, Sir Paul, meron bang nagtatrabaho sa aviation industry or ikaw pa lang yung bukod tangi?
That's a good question po. Because in our family, I'm the first person po who wants to pursue a job sa aviation industry. And I had this pamangkin po who wants to become pilots then and cabin crews. But the first person, it's me po. In my family background, I think they're all in the engineering fields, in architectural fields. So ako lang yung medyo lumihis ng konti. Ganun po.
Sabi nila, ang pagpiloto raw is medyo magastos. Totoo ba to, Sir Paul? And how much are we talking about?
Actually, opo, totoo po. The direct answer for that is magastos po talaga ang pagpipiloto. Pero sabi ko nga po dun sa isang vlog ko, marami naman pong ways on how to become an airline pilot. May mga nag-offer ng study na pilotor program, meron sa Air Force, or you can at least reach until flight instructor course. But there are ways on how to become an airline pilot po. Not necessarily kailangan meron kang 4 to 5 million pesos, but it's a reality na mahal talaga siya.
So, by the way, Sir Paul, ano naman yung difference ng nagpipiloto ka sa mga civilian flying schools within the Metro or sa Manila or sa Pampanga versus doon sa piloto ka ng Philippine Air Force?
It's really, really different because the other one is, as you've said po, civilian, has something to do with commercials, so business, and the other one is for military, which used for, for forces, and wars and protection. So it's really different po. And when it comes to aircrafts, the aircrafts din po na ginagamit are different. And the trainings are quite different as well po. Because different aircrafts, different requirements of trainings po. So it's very, very different po.
Okay, sabi mo, sir, different aircraft, so panibagong training, ganun ba yun? Kunyari, nag-aaral na ako ng flying. So, may isang eroplano ko pinag-aaralan. Pagka ako ba tumalon sa ibang model ng eroplano, pwede na ba yun? Diretso tatalo na lang ako? Pwede ko nang i-drive yun? Or mag-aaral pa rin ako ng panibago?
Opo. Kailangan pa rin po mag-aral. Opo. Magkaibang eroplano po, magkaibang training.
Oh, okay. So hindi tayo basta-basta nag-drive ka ng kotse, maya-maya pwede kang tumalon ng adventure or
hindi po, hindi.
Malaking sasakyan.
Opo. Kahit po nasa Airbus, nasa line po tayo ng Airbus. Kung nasa lisensya po ninyo A320 lang, hindi po kayo pwede magpalipad ng A330. Kung gusto po kayo magpalipad ng A330, kailangan nyo din pong mag-training for Airbus A330 type rating.
So kung ano lang yung nakalagay sa lisensya ko, yun at yun lang yung pwede kong ilipad.
Yes po, definitely. Yes po.
Pero bakit? I mean, parang wala naman silang eroplano, parang wala naman siguro sila ng control, pero bakit hindi ako pwedeng lumipad ng eroplano na hindi ko na-train?
Basically, dahil yung mga aircraft, so may iba-iba silang mga features. And others are bigger than the others. So, it's important for us, especially for pilots. It's all about safety po. So, we want to make sure na every galaw po natin is safe.
Paano ba lumilipad ang eroplano? Ang laki-laki niya eh. Di ba?
Opo. Yan din po yung tanong ko nung bata ako talaga, yung mga maliit pa po talaga ako. Pero when I went to the aviation university, whenever you meet people who are in aviation, they will gonna tell you about 4 forces of flying. Meron tayong lift, and counterpart is weight, and we have also the thrust and the drag. So when you go to aviation, you will be in detail of that. So yeah, one thing, to make the long story short, it's because of the 4 forces acting up on an airplane. So we have the lift, weight, thrust, and drag.
Sir Paul, pagka ba nagpiloto ka, syempre nakikita ko sa mga school is umaga lumilipad eh. Ibig sabihin ba noon, pwede ka rin lumipad ng gabi?
Opo, pwede ka rin pong lumipad ng gabi. Part po yun ng training. We can call that, especially when we do our instrument rating. So usually pagkagabi, we will no longer do the visual flight rules, but rather we use instrument flight rules. So pagkagabi, we more rely on our instruments rather than the visual na nakita po na. So it's possible po na lumipad ng gabi.
Para lang po sa kaalaman ng ating mga viewers, can you explain further yung pinagkaiba ng visual flight tsaka yung instrument flight?
Yes po. Basically, VFR or visual flight rule, from the word itself, visual, we use our eyesight po when it comes to flying. On the other hand, instrument flight rules or IFR, we rely on our instruments na nasa aircraft po. So that's how it works.
So ibig sabihin nun, hindi ba parang nakakailang yun? Parang hindi ka titingin sa labas pag gabi, or rather sa ano ka lang, sa instrument mo lang?
Well, hindi po. May mga instruments po tayo and our instruments are very, very reliable. Also, lights when it comes to pagkagabi po. Siyempre, may makita pa rin naman po tayong lights kahit pa paano. So, yun po. Need din po sila.
So, pagka visual, ito yung mga piloto na, ano to, parang titingin ka sa mga dagat, sa shoreline, sa bundok, landmarks, parang ganun ba yun?
Yes po, yes po. Or, yes, terrains or others are skyscrapers, buildings.
So, yun pala yung tinatawag nating visual flight rules. So far, Sir Paul, sa tingin mo, ano yung pinakamahirap na part sa pagpipiloto?
Pinakamahirap po na part sa pagpipilot, I think the responsibility na meron ka. Because you, kailangan, number one, you build yourself as a responsible person. Because you are the person in charge of all the people that nakasakay po dun sa aeroplano mo. So, yeah, it's the responsibility number one. But when it comes to the subjects po, almost all. Parang almost lahat. Pero kaya naman, kinakaya naman.
So, yung responsibility ang pinakamahirap. Pero when it comes to training, Sir Paul, yung pag-take off, pag-landing, pag-navigation, alin dun sa, yung tingin mo talaga napaka-critical na, na part ng paglipad?
I think lahat po talaga especially taking off and landings. Yes po. Yun yung pinaka-important. Take off and landings.
So, kung ako isang pasahero at takot akong lumipad, anong pwede mong sabihin sa akin or i-motivate para ganahan ako sumakay ng eroplano?
I'll say let's look on the studies and let's look on the surveys. Airplanes are one of the safest mode of transportations, really. After elevator. So after elevator, it's airplanes who are safe, who's the most safest mode of transportation. So that's number one na pwede nating i-assure sa mga passengers po natin. And just like, as I said, ito po yung lagi ko sinasabi, kung sa lupa, sa land, ang dami pong accidents. It happens, thousands and sometimes millions of accidents happening every day sa mga land mode of transportations natin. I think it's when we try to think about airplanes as well, so mas mababa yung sa mga airplanes po.
Mas safe ang air travel compare sa mga sasakyan sa baba.
Yes po.
Pero nakakatakot pa rin.
Actually po, especially kung meron kang fear of heights.
Pero kasi sa sarili mo, Sir Paul, hindi ba sumagi mo sa sayo na teka, napakadelikado nitong kurso na to, lilipad ka tapos magla-landing ka. Pero eto ko pa rin pinush mo pa rin ano ba ito, I mean, bukod sa pangarap mo or na-motivate ka kay Captain Genesis, bukod doon, ano pa yung sa'yo, motivate na talagang ituloy ito?
Well, yes po, sumagi po sa isip ko yun. Na delikado siya, na mahirap siya, na nakakatakot. Pero I think naniniwala po ako dun sa lahat tayo lahat tayo nakalaan para dun sa mga bagay kung saan talaga tayo. Tapos kung para dun ka talaga sa area na yon, lahat ng courage, lahat ng tapang, mapupunta lahat sa'yo kung para ka dun sa field na yon. And I believe it's aviation and being a pilot in that matter is really, really for me. And so, because of that, I did everything and I'm doing everything for me to become a pilot.
Alright. Any idea, Sir Paul, kung magkano ang sweldo ng piloto?
Number one, depende po sa airline. Pero kung tatanungin natin malaki po ba, I think everybody will agree. Malaki po.
Yeah, everyone knows na malaki. Pero can you give us sample figures lang para meron kaming parang basihan kung magkano ba talaga?
Okay po. Well, I don't have really that figure po. Not yet. Pero dito po sa Cambodia, it ranges to 20 to 40,000 US dollars.
Malaki yun, ha?
Malaki po yun.
Pero syempre, considering the responsibility ng piloto, sobrang laki din.
Yes po, actually. At saka yung ginastos po natin sa training.
Meron pa tayong kakaibang question dito, Sir Paul. May nagtatanong dito, bakit walang parachute sa eroplano?
Yes po. Number one, ang mga parachutes po mabigat. So it gives more weight sa aircraft. And the more na mas mabigat po yung airplane, the more na mas nagko-consume siya ng fuel. So, yeah. Number one po, it's because of the weight of the parachute. And the compartment as well, na ilalagay yung parachute po. So, other reasons, I'm not that sure, pero that's one thing I know.
Safe ba ang natin, Sir Paul, mga eroplano for training?
Yes, they are safe po. They are safe po. Authorities are making it sure na they are very safe.
Kunyari, Sir Paul, lumilipad ka and then bigla ka nagka-trouble, pwede ka bang mag-landing?
Yes po. It depends on the pilot, pero may mga sinusunod po tayong procedures when it comes to that matter po. Hindi pwedeng nakakita ka lang ng water, then ka na sa water maglaland. May procedures po tayo doon. First things first, yung priority natin, it depends po sa mga instances. It depends po sa mga incidents na nararamdaman po or yes po, na encounter po na.
Napansin ko lang, Sir Paul, sa mga YouTube, yung mga runway, may parang malalaking numbers sa dulo. Ano bang ibig sabihin nun? Tapos magkaiba sila.
Yun po yung tinatawag nating runway designation. Yun po yung mga numbers po na yun, it depends on kung saan po nakalagay yung mga runway. Let's think po, meron tayong, for example, 360 degrees. Right po. So dun sa 360 degrees na yun, yung 360, the opposite of 360 is 180 degrees. So other runway might be designated as runway 36, and this runway here is designated runway 18, probably. So that's how it works. Basta laging minus 18 or plus 18 palagi yung dalawa.
Oh, okay. So yung pala ibig sabihin ng numbers doon. So siya sa 360 degrees, yung na circle.
Yes po. Yes,
okay. Yes. So kaya pala iba-iba siya.
Yes po. For example, meron po tayong compass, di ba po? For example, this compass. Ito po, dito sa compass na to, for example, kung ang runway po natin nakatutok dito, meron tayong, this is 210 degrees, so this one is runway 21, and the other is runway 03. So ganun po siya.
Oh, okay. That's a good thing. That's a good to know, Sir Paul. Okay. Kamusta naman ang schedule mo? I mean, yung mga subjects, yung mga academics na kailangan mong gawin, mga simulator, may mga ganun-ganun ba?
Dito po sa Cambodia, honestly, as of the moment, hindi siya ganun kaganda kagaya sa Pilipinas. Hindi siya ganun ka-advanced kaysa sa Pilipinas, I would say po. And when it comes to my schedule, I have a very, very maluwag na schedule. I only study at night and my mornings are available po ako ng morning. So, ganun po siya kaluwag.
So, just to confirm, Sir Paul, currently nasa Cambodia ka ngayon?
Yes po.
Does it adds up sa pressure yung language barriers?
Yes, honestly, to be honest, opo. Number one challenge na kinakaharap ko po ngayon is the language barrier. Cambodian people are not really that good in English, but some are. Dun po, most of the time, they're speaking in their own language. And I can't just really understand po. And that adds up to the challenge na nararamdaman ko.
So, paano yung, ano, pagka yung instruction na sa, ano, di ba, sa yung mga technical na sa eroplano, di sobrang challenge yun para sa'yo or
Dun naman po sa mga instructors po namin, yung iba po sa kanila are foreigners. Others are Americans. Yung iba, may teacher po ako na from Singapore, British, German po, si Mr. Isaac. So may mga international teachers din po.
normally, Sir Paul, gaano kataas ang nililipad ng isang pang-training na eroplano?
Normally po nasa ranging 10,000, approximately 10,000 feet po above sea level.
Medyo mataas din yun, Sir Paul, ah. So anyway, Sir Paul, ano yung pakiramdam mo the first time na makasakay ka ng eroplano?
It is sobrang parang dream come true po sa akin. Imagine you want to become a pilot and now you're flying. Masarap po sa feeling actually, pero meron lang sumasakit sa tenga. Yung mga ganong instances na nararamdaman mo po. Meron kang mafe-feel na something different kasi it's your first time.
Pero
But overall,
hindi ba siya nakakatakot, Sir Paul? May sinasabi sila na, ako kasi personally, hindi pa ako nakasakay ng eroplano eh. May sinasabi silang turbulence. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng turbulence sa Sir Paul?
Turbulence po is the sudden movement po ng aircraft sa air. Yung turbulence po na yun parang mga bumps siya sa aeroplano pagka nakasakay po kayo. Parang mga causes po nun yung for example, we enter a sea of clouds and expect a turbulence po. So it's a movement po. Para kang sumakay sa bus tapos may humps na nadaanan. So ganun yung feeling ng turbulence.
Okay, I mean, sa katulad namin, or sa katulad ko, na medyo wala talagang alam sa ganitong field, akala ko ang ulap is malambot.
Well, malambot po siya, pero meron mga water particles inside it. That's what makes airplanes moving when it comes to land.
Masama ba ang turbulence?
At some point, yes po. Yes po. Because others, it might cause injuries, really.
Oh,
Especially when you're not wearing the seat belt. That's why everyone in the aircraft encourages us to really fasten our seat belt. That's why seat belts are so important.
so kung ako magpipiloto, iiwasan ko yung clouds, yung ulap.
Yes po, with the permission of the air traffic control.
Okay, nabanggit mo yung air traffic control, Sir Paul. Ano naman yung air traffic control na tinatawag?
Air traffic control basically is the authority over the pilots. For example, gusto nilang mag-change in route, so they have to have the permission of the air traffic control.
So, by the way, Sir Paul, naisip ko lang naman, so, syempre, mag-aaral ka sa classroom training, paano pag lilipad ka na? Kasama ba to sa tuition fee na babayaran mo pagpasok?
Yes po, other aviation schools are requiring you to pay na buo na, or pwede din naman may mga aviation school din na pwedeng pa, how do we call this, patingi-tingi or installment, pwede rin po yun. Meron po kasi tayong ground schooling na tinatawag. Merong flight simulator training at saka yung actual flying na tinatawag. So, yes, babayaran mo lahat yun whether you like it or not, whether ground schooling muna or flight simulator training muna, or up until actual flying. So, yun po.
Can you give us an idea, Sir Paul, kung magkano, let's say, wala akong pangbayad ng isang bigayan lang. So, kunyari, magtitingi-tingi lang ako. So, tingin mo, Sir Paul, or if you can give us an idea, magkano siya per hour?
Sa ground schooling po, it ranges up until 75,000 pesos for a month ng ground schooling. And then flight simulator training, it's I think another 75,000 pesos as well. And then actual flying, sa actual flying naman po per hour is 13,000 per hour. But again, it depends po sa mga aviation schools.
Wow!
Yes.
I mean, so aside from, kasi nabasa ko lang, you have to be physically fit eh.
Yes, yes.
So dapat yung financial mo is fit din dapat talaga.
Yes, actually po, totoo.
So, if I am someone na tingin ko naman sa sarili ko na wala talaga akong ng pera pang pampiloto, ano sa tingin mo yung yung other option?
Well, study now, pay later program po. May mga ganun po tayong mga programs. From the word itself, study now, pay later. So may mga aviation companies na nagko-cover ng mga expenses mo muna, and then after that, when you are already flying or may trabaho na po kayo, that's the time you will pay them back. So that's one, and it's a good opportunity po. Sa Air Force, meron po doon, kagaya nung experience ni Captain JC Rage, meron po siyang, pumunta po siya sa military, and then nagkaroon po siya ng opportunity magkaroon ng libreng training all the way from ab initio up until Airbus type rating. So yun po yung mga ways on how to become an airline pilot nang hindi ka mapera or wala kang ganun na budget.
Meron bang situation na nasabi mo sa sarili mo na mag-ibang kurso na lang kaya ako?
To be honest, wala po. Hindi ko po nakikita yung sarili ko po sa ibang field, really.
Which one yung much better? Yung Boeing o Airbus?
I think for me po, Airbus. Yes. That's for me po.
Any, konting inputs bakit sa tingin mo mas okay ang Airbus kesa kay Boeing?
When it comes to safety po, of course, we don't close our eyes sa mga nakikita po nating incidents when it comes to Boeing. But I'm not against Boeing. Yeah, Airbus these times are more safe for me. And when it comes to controls, sabi nila parang sa sasakyan po si Boeing manual, si Airbus more on automatic. So yeah, I think the technologies that Airbus has this time is more reliable.
So far, Sir Paul, kamusta naman ang journey mo? I mean, from PhilSCA up to present sa pagkuha ng kursong ito.
Yes po. May sudden change po actually dun sa nangyaring yun. My first year po was in PhilSCA, but my second year was already here in Cambodia. So, luckily po, fortunately, pagdating ko po dito sa Cambodia, na-credit naman po lahat ng mga subjects ko na meron ako sa PhilSCA dito po sa university ko ngayon dito sa Cambodia. So far, so good po. The transition was so smooth.
Well, at least na-credit yung mga subject mo in
Yes po,
first year.
actually, ang laking tulong po talaga. Ang laking tipid po sa amin nun.
Mahal din ba ang tuition fee dyan sa Cambodia, Sir Paul?
Dito po, nasa $2,200 din.
Oh my God, ang mahal nun.
More than 100,000 pesos. So.
While kung mag-PhilSCA ka,
Libre.
by the way, Sir Paul, matanong ko lang,
Yes po.
di ba, bakit sa Cambodia mo napili magpiloto, hindi sa Pilipinas?
To be honest, I'm hitting two birds in one stone po dito sa Cambodia. Really. My first thing po na ginagawa is I'm also a missionary po here in Cambodia. And I'm also, while doing missionary, while in a mission field, I'm also studying aviation. So, my parents are here po dito sa Cambodia as missionaries. So, yes po, and we are also here together with them And habang nandito na din po, habang nagmi-mission, nag-aaral na din po. So I'm just taking up my time, optimizing my time in a better and smarter way, I guess.
Okay, so that's the reason pala kasi nagtaka din ako nung una bakit nasa Cambodia ka. Bakit siya
Yes.
kumukuha ng ng pagpipiloto
Opo.
Pilipinas.
At lagi ko po actually nare-receive yung tanong na yun, ba't sa Cambodia pa? Ba't hindi na lang sa Pilipinas?
So nabanggit mo Sir Paul na isa kang missionary. Paano pag darating yung time na lilipat na naman kayo ng ibang country or
Yes po.
area? So naplano mo na ba 'yon?
Yes po. I always take that into considerations po. So, yes, I'm ready for those things po.
Okay, Sir Paul, last question. So, ano naman yung pwede mo mai-advise doon sa mga upcoming college students or gagraduate pa rin ng college na gusto magpiloto?
Okay. Yung advice ko sa mga incoming aviation students or sa mga graduating students na gusto magpiloto, hindi siya magiging madali. Hindi siya magiging madali. I'm not promising you na hindi siya mahirap. Number one, mahirap siya, pero I'm encouraging you na if you really want to be in this industry, you have to ready yourself. Mag-aral, lahat na pag-aaralan. Kung may mga naging piloto, ibig sabihin kung kaya nila, ibig sabihin kaya din natin. So, lahat na pag-aaralan, kung napag-aralan nila, mapapag-aralan din natin. So, do not be too much hard on yourself, and at the same time, do not be so too much relaxed. Mag-aral tayo, pag-aralan natin, tapos let us believe, let us manifest that we will become one, and it will really help. There's power in manifestation. Have faith. Ito yung lagi kong sinasabi sa mga viewers ko. Have faith. Kasi kung una pa lang wala ka ng faith, una pa lang game over na. But when you have faith, you are looking forward for things that you are not yet seeing, but you know it will happen. And indeed, true enough, it will happen to you. So have faith on becoming an airline pilot. And sabi ko nga, yung mga aeroplanong paliliparan natin, gawa na, tayo na lang yung hinihintay. So let us keep on moving and let us keep on dreaming.
Alright, thank you so much, Sir Paul!
Thank you po. Thank you so much din po.
Okay, so bago natin tapusin to guys, please subscribe to Sir Paul's YouTube channel. Paul Castro lang po, YouTube channel.
Yes guys, thank you so much, and don't forget to subscribe on Pinoy Mavericks as well guys.
Alright, thank you so much!
Thank you so much po.